Millz Young here with Pick Dawgz, and I'm going to be going over the UFC Fight Night card that's going down this week at the UFC Apex with 11 fights to talk about, headlined by Rozenstruik versus Gaziev. The big main event with the big heavyweight. Gaziev, 12-0, is going to be taking on the hard hitter and Rozenstruik in the main event. Got a lot of good fights on there to talk about with a lot of prospects that's going to be turning heads. So, hey, 11 fights though? We ain't got a lot of shots to, get stuff wrong. So we're going to try to get every single fight right on this prediction video, okay? So I got 11 fights. I'm going for 100% prediction on this one, okay? But look, let me know what you guys are going to be betting on this week, okay? How'd you guys do last week, man? We had a good week on premiums. The predictions video, we did good too as well on that one too. I mean, we went, 8-3, I want to say, on our prediction video. One fight got canceled. This week, I think we're going to get all the people that's showing up on this card to make weight and make us, be able to see them and fight in the cage. But a few fights that were supposed to be on this card did get still canceled, or, they're not on the card no more. So one of those fights that got canceled was the Raul Rojas Jr. versus Ricky Turcios fight that was supposed to be on the event last week. That got canceled, okay? But we still got a lot of fights to talk about, so let's go ahead and get started, man. The first fight of the night, Radzhabov taking on Al-Selwady. 15-3 for Selwady, 17-5-1 for Radzhabov. Al-Selwady opens up the favorite in this one, -165 to open up, okay? I know a lot about these two guys, man, because, I was a big fan of Al-Selwady. He came up through the Brave promotion, has fights in Fury, has one fight in LFA. He has great footwork when he's out there. He was a big dog in his UFC Contender Series fight, and he came through in cash for us. And he's one of those guys to where I've been waiting for him to get this call, to get into the UFC. On the other side, Radzhabov, former PFL fighter, he's fought for $1 million like a couple of times now. When it comes down to it, he throws bigs to close that to close the distance when he's going in to wrestle and grapple. But it's kind of a one-trick pony sometimes, because if the grappling's not going, he's gonna keep going for those takedowns, relentless. In this one, I like the favorite in there, but I will say it's not one that I'm running to the bank to bet, but I gotta stick to my guys, stick to my gut, and stick to my guns. And this has been one of my guys that I've been watching and following now before he came into the UFC. That's play number one. We're going with Selwady in that one to get it done. Fight number two, Vinicius Oliveira, 19 wins, 3 losses, taking on Bernardo Sopaj. All right, so this fight just got put together literally in 2 days. Oliveira made his debut on the UFC Contender Series, knocked the guy out real quick inside the distance, okay? He opened up a -160 favorite to his opponent. I think the line flipped now as I'm doing this video, and his opponent's the favorite at a -115. Vinicius Oliveira has deadly striking in his hands. Quick fighter out there, Twitch fighter at that, Sopaj, he's coming from a different promotion. I want to say it's like Braves or Aries. It's one of those promotions overseas. But he's a good fighter, man. And I think that this fight that we got right here is a way better fight than the original one. Okay, the reason why I say that is because, this guy has 7 wins by KO, 3 wins by submission. Right now he's currently on a 3-fight win streak. And to come into this fight after fighting in the Brave promotion, I think he's going to be ready to take the test. But the test is a tough one at hand. In this one, I'm going to be honest with you guys, man. I like the way Oliveira looked on the Dana White Contender Series. But his opponent, it might be one of those spots to where, hey, if you don't get on him now, you're probably going to catch it too late. It reminds me of Ilia Topuria when he fought Yusuf Zalal in that spot. Just because it was one of those guys making his debut. And hey, if you didn't get him on him at the right time, you never know. But in this one, though, I'm going to go with Vinicius, man. I'm going to go with the more fighter who's had the more training time, not coming on short notice. All right, third fight on the card, Christian Leroy Duncan, 9-1, taking on Claudio Ribeiro, 11-4. All right, the bet now has got Christian Leroy Duncan at a -290 right now, okay? The comeback on Ribeiro, nice little price tag. Let's talk about it, though. Duncan is 2-1 in the UFC. Wins over Dennis Tululin, a win over Dusko Turkovic, and a loss to Armin Petrosian, okay? Duncan, he's a good grappler, solid takedown defense. Technical striker, explosive, great size, looks to switch stance. 7 wins by KO. Looks like he can get it done when he wants to, but the fight IQ ain't there. Ribeiro, man, this guy's a hard hitter, man. 1-2 in the UFC. Wins over Joseph Holmes, lost to Kapilov and Abdul Razak Assad. This guy, though, when he's out there, he's putting all of his power into those punches. So if he's not able to get you out of there by the mid-second round, he's going to slow down, okay? Last fight out, he was mixing in takedowns too, trying to mix it up. And this one, though, I really like the under in there. Both these guys got power in there. I can't trust none of them when it comes to the fight IQ. But the pick, man. I kind of like Ribeiro a little bit, man. Because Duncan, I just don't know what I'm going to get. But I do know that Duncan has way more tools to win. So I got to go with Duncan in this one, all right? Fight number 4. Javed Basharat, 14-0. Taking on Alameen's Zahabi. 10 wins, 2 losses. All right, now let's talk about Basharat. He's opening up at a -600, -550. He's all the way up to a -700 favorite now, okay? He's one of those guys to where, man, he's been as advertised. 4-0 in the UFC. Good wins in the UFC, too, man. I mean, wins over Tony Gravlin. A lot of tested fighters in there. When it comes down to it, he's going to have the reach advantage, the height advantage for sure. He's going to have that gas tank and that cardio. Zahabi, though, man, he's a counter puncher, man. He's going out there. He's a slow cook pressure fighter out that. He's going to go out there and, fight at his pace. Look to counter, look to win when he can and strike. Coming off of an impressive KO in his last fight out, I want to say, now he has a tough task on hand in here. To be honest, though, Basharat should win in this one. I like him to win by decision. That's a -160. That'd be my best bet on that pick throw right there. And I think Basharat gets the job done. Next fight taking place, Ludovic Klein, 20 wins, 4 losses, taking on AJ Cunningham, 11 wins, 3 losses. This fight literally just got thrown together in 2 days. Ludovic Klein's opponent fell out. I don't know what the odds are yet, but tell you about the fighters, man. I like Ludovic Klein. He's a dog in there. He upset my guy Mason Jones. Since then, he has good high kicks, good pressure, decent striking. AJ Cunningham, not too much to say about him on here. Made his debut on the UFC Contender Series, I want to say, and I think he got, what was it? He got put out real quick, I want to say. He's a scrappy fighter, though, coming from law school MMA. He's going to be out there trying to do what he can, but I don't know, man. I don't think he's going to be able to pull out the win in this one, man. When it comes down to it, the two is levels to this, and I think Ludovic Klein is beyond levels against Cunningham. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a -450, -500 favorite on the books in here. I like Ludovic Klein to get it done. He wins inside the distance in this one. Next fight taking place. All right, your boy, Eric Anders, 15 wins, 8 losses, taking on Jamie Pickett, 13 wins, 10 losses. Eric Anders is a -400 favorite in there. Both these fighters are fighters to where, nobody wants to parlay any of these guys. But I think Eric Anders is going to be able to mix in the wrestling, mix in the takedowns, and get this fight down to the ground. I think he wins, by KO, ground and pound. He usually wins by decision. Jamie Pickett, you know what you're going to get with him. He's going to strike when he wants to, try to clinch, hold you up against the cage. Both these guys' fighting styles are kind of the same. I like your boy Eric Anders to get it done in that one. Also, got a lot of interviews with him, too. Shout out to your boy. All right, next fight taking place. Steve Ursay, 11 wins, 1 loss, taking on Matt Schnell, 16 wins, 7 losses. Steve Ursay is one of the prospects that I like out here. 2-0 in the UFC, wins over David Dvorak, and then wins over Alexander Costa. He's a -300 favorite in here. I think he gets it done. Next fight on the card, Umar Nurmagomedov taking on Basharat Azlamakhan. 17 wins, 1 loss for Basharat, 16-0 for Nurmagomedov. Nurmagomedov's a -1500 favorite. What more do you want me to say? He's as advertised, that protege of Khabib Nurmagomedov. I think he gets it done. I like him to win inside the distance. It's a -145. Hop on it. All right, next fight. Muhammad Mokaev, 10-0, taking on Alex Perez. Muhammad Mokaev opened up at a -265. He's all the way up to a -350. This is the lowest price tag you're ever going to be able to get Muhammad Mokaev. Alex Perez, this dude hasn't fought forever. I mean, he has about 11 or 12 canceled bouts or fights in the last 4 or 5 years. Can't trust him. I think Muhammad Mokaev gets it done. I think he wins in round 3. He has a lot of fights to where he wins in round 3. I like Muhammad Mokaev in round 3. Next fight on the card, co-main event time. Victor Petrino, 10-0, taking on Tyson Pedro, 10-4. Victor Petrino opened up at a -280s all the way up to a 310. I like Victor Petrino in this spot. Bet on him a couple of times in the UFC. Want to say he's 2-0 in the UFC. Might be even 3-0. A good powerful puncher, but he can mix in the wrestling and takedowns, man. I think he's good in all aspects of this fight. Tyson Pedro will be live in round 1. After that, he's done. Take Victor Petrino to get it done inside the distance. Main event time. Rozenstruik, 13 wins, 5 losses, taking on Gaziev, 12-0. Gaziev is a -140 favorite, going up to a -160. Made his debut against Martin Boudet, and he was able to win, I want to say in the 2nd or 3rd round. Rozenstruik, we all know the power that he possesses. He's a counterpuncher, a kickboxer at that, coming off of, loss, win. That's how it's been. Whenever he gets to step up in competition, it seems like he seems to lose. But I remember I was at that event where he fought Pick Dawgz, knocked him out in round 1 with 23 seconds left. Then after that, he followed it up with a loss to Jailton Almeida. In this one, it's hard to say who's more trustworthy, but I think Gaziev does have way more ways to win. Rozenstruik's just a counterpuncher who stands there and you're just screaming at the screen, throw a punch, and he doesn't. I'm not going for that. I think Gaziev gets it done. All right, my bulletproof parlay, we're going to take Petrino, and then we're going to take Basharat, and we're going to take Umar Nurmagomedov. Nah. We ain't taking the Magomedov. We ain't doing that. We never parlay somebody that costs more than somebody's rent. Scratch that. We're taking Eric Anders in there, okay? You parlay those 3. Let me know what you guys get. And see you guys at the books and at the windows. All right, now look, man. I'm going to be dropping another video for you guys with my fights to finish and not go the distance. So stay tuned. Like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys are betting on. It's Millz Young MMA Locker Room here with Pick Dawgz. Hey, UFC bet with me. It's us against the books. That's who we're beating up.